Welcome back to Story Sprout, the place where real-life inspired stories meet emotions, surprises, and lessons you'll never forget. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe and join our growing family, because every story we tell has the power to touch your heart and open your eyes to life's unexpected miracles. Today's story is about a powerful single dad CEO, his little daughter, a group of highly skilled engineers, and a humble nanny who shocked everyone with her brilliance. It all started in the bustling city where Ethan Carter, one of the youngest and most successful CEOs in the tech industry, was raising his 6-year-old daughter, Lily, all on his own. Life hadn't been kind to Ethan. His wife had passed away when Lily was just a baby, leaving him to balance the demanding life of running a billion-dollar company while being the only parent his little girl had. Despite his wealth and influence, Ethan was known for being grounded and deeply protective of Lily. She was the center of his world, the reason he worked so hard, and the only one who could make him smile after the longest, most exhausting day at the office. But parenting alone wasn't easy. That's where Maria came in. Maria was the nanny Ethan had hired when Lily turned 2. She wasn't just any nanny, she was patient, kind, and had a warmth about her that made Lily adore her instantly. Over the years, Maria became more like family than an employee. She was always there, braiding Lily's hair, teaching her songs, cooking her favorite meals, and comforting her when Ethan was away on business trips. One chilly morning, Ethan arrived at his company headquarters with Lily and Maria by his side. He had a huge day ahead. His engineering team was working on a breakthrough prototype that could revolutionize renewable energy. The project was not just important for the company's profits, but for Ethan's personal mission. He wanted to create something meaningful that could change the world his daughter would grow up in. But there was a big problem. The prototype had stopped working, and no one knew why. 15 of the company's top engineers had been working tirelessly around the clock for days. They tried every calculation, every adjustment, and every replacement part they could think of, but the machine refused to start. Investors were growing impatient, the board was restless, and Ethan himself was at the edge of despair. That morning, he walked into the lab with heavy steps, his little girl holding his hand tightly. Lily, sensing her father's stress, asked innocently, "Daddy, why are you so sad?" Ethan knelt down and kissed her forehead, whispering, "Sometimes even the smartest people can't fix things, sweetheart. But I'll figure it out, I promise." Maria stood quietly in the background, watching as the engineers once again debated over complicated diagrams and expensive machinery. She had no formal education in engineering, no fancy degree, and no technical training. She had been a nanny all her life. But she also had something most people overlooked: an eye for details, common sense, and the ability to stay calm when others panicked. As Ethan spoke with the engineers, Maria's eyes wandered over the massive prototype. She tilted her head, observing the machine carefully. Something seemed odd to her. She noticed a small part, almost hidden from view, that wasn't aligned correctly. It wasn't a major component, at least not according to the engineers who were busy arguing about power supplies and algorithms, but Maria thought it looked out of place. She hesitated at first. Who was she to interrupt a room full of professionals? But then she remembered how much Ethan cared about this project, and how exhausted he looked. Gathering her courage, she stepped forward. "Excuse me," she said softly. Everyone turned, surprised. Maria rarely spoke during these meetings. "I don't know anything about machines," she continued, "but isn't that piece they're supposed to be connected tighter? It looks like it's loose." The room went silent. One of the engineers frowned, ready to dismiss her observation. But Ethan, desperate and curious, walked over and checked the part Maria pointed at. To everyone's shock, she was right. A simple connector was misaligned, preventing the entire system from working. Ethan called for a quick adjustment. The engineers corrected the alignment, reattached the piece, and within seconds, the machine roared to life. The prototype that had stumped 15 experts for days was fixed, in less than 30 seconds, thanks to the nanny. Everyone stared in disbelief. The team of engineers exchanged awkward glances, embarrassed that something so simple had been overlooked. Ethan, however, was filled with a mix of astonishment and gratitude. He looked at Maria, speechless for a moment, then broke into a wide smile. "Maria," he said, "you just solved what an entire department couldn't. You saved us." Lily clapped her hands, jumping with joy. Maria is the best, she shouted, running to hug her nanny. News of the incident spread quickly throughout the company. Some laughed at the irony, others admired Maria's quick thinking, but for Ethan, it was more than just a funny story. It was a reminder that intelligence isn't measured by degrees or titles. Sometimes, the simplest observation, made with clarity and patience, can change everything. That evening, as they returned home, Ethan couldn't stop thinking about what had happened. Over dinner, he finally spoke up. "Maria, today you reminded me of something I often forget. It's not always about having the biggest brain or the fanciest resume. It's about caring enough to notice the little things. You did that, and you saved the project." Maria smiled modestly, brushing it off as nothing. But Ethan didn't let it go. A week later, during the company's quarterly meeting, Ethan stood before his entire staff and told the story. He ended by announcing something that stunned everyone. "Maria may not be an engineer by degree," he said proudly, "but she has a gift for observation and problem solving. From today, she will serve as a consultant on all our major projects." Because brilliance doesn't always come from textbooks, it comes from the heart, from the ability to see what others overlook. The employees applauded, and Maria's eyes filled with tears. She never expected recognition like this. She had always considered herself just a nanny, but Ethan had seen her worth and given her a role no one else could have imagined. From that day on, Maria continued caring for Lily, but she also attended meetings, sharing her insights and often catching small issues before they turned into big problems. The company thrived, and Ethan made sure everyone remembered that sometimes the most extraordinary solutions come from the most unexpected people. As for Ethan, he gained more than a successful project that day. He gained a renewed sense of humility and respect for those around him, no matter their title. And every time he looked at Maria helping Lily with homework or laughing with her in the garden, he felt grateful, not just for the nanny who loved his daughter like her own, but for the woman who proved that sometimes, true genius lies in simplicity. So, what do you think Ethan did right? Was it his decision to listen when no one else would? Or was it Maria's courage to speak up in a room full of experts? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you loved this story, don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to Story Sprout for more heart-touching tales that remind us of the power of kindness, courage, and unexpected wisdom. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next story.